The shuttle touched down with a soft thud on the dusty landing pad. Outside the window, Saros 9 looked dead. The sky was a dull orange, and the ground was cracked like dry skin. Sharp rocks and broken machinery littered the edge of the mining site. Cold winds swept over the colony, carrying the sound of metal groaning in the distance. Commander William Carter stepped off the ramp and adjusted his coat. The air was thin, dry, and smelled faintly of oil and dust. He had been in worse places during his years in the military, but this place felt tense. A tall man in a dusty uniform approached. "Commander Carter, welcome," said the man. "I'm Director Halvin. I run the colony." Carter shook his hand. "Thanks. Where's the Zarn delegation?" Halvin's face tightened. "They arrived 2 days ago. Haven't said much. They're in the South Dome, waiting." Carter looked around. Workers moved in silence. No one smiled. Mining bots whirred past, scanning the ground for ore. Armed guards stood at the edges, watching the horizon like they expected trouble. Inside the colony, things weren't much better. The lights flickered. The walls were patched with metal sheets. Carter walked through the narrow halls, his boots echoing. Every person he passed looked tired, nervous, or both. In the main meeting dome, the air was warmer but heavy. The lights dimmed automatically as he entered. At the far end stood 3 tall figures, their skin dark and rough like obsidian. Their eyes glowed faintly blue. General Krazek stepped forward. He was larger than the others, and wore armor that shimmered with small moving patterns. His face was unreadable. "You are Carter," Krazek said. His voice was deep and sharp. Carter nodded. "I'm here to talk peace. The mining agreement is good for both our people." Krazek stared. "We do not trade peace. We demand respect." Carter kept his voice calm. "You have it. We came to share this world, to learn, not conquer." Another Zarn stepped forward, but Krazek raised a hand. "Words mean little. Your machines dig where they do not belong." Carter frowned. "We've mapped the site carefully. We stayed out of the southern ruins, as agreed." Krazek said nothing. He turned and left the dome. The other Zarn followed without a word. Director Halvin entered a moment later. "That went well," he said, voice dry. Carter sighed. "We need to try harder. If this goes wrong, it won't just be about a mine. It'll be a war." Outside, the wind howled louder. A mining drone hovered near the edge of the colony, blinking red as it scanned deep below the surface. No one saw that it had strayed off course. No one noticed the ancient stone symbols just beneath the soil. The next morning, the alarm lights turned red. Carter was drinking his bitter rehydrated coffee in the command center when the sirens started. A loud mechanical voice echoed through the halls. "Alert! Unauthorized excavation detected in Sector 12. All mining operations paused." Director Halvin rushed in. "Something's wrong with the drones." Carter stood up. "Show me." On the large wall screen, a live feed played. A mining drone, Unit 97, was drilling deep into the ground. Its coordinates were clear. Sector 12. That area was marked as restricted. It was near the ruins the Zarn had claimed as sacred. Carter narrowed his eyes. "Why is it drilling there? We marked that zone off limits." Halvin tapped the control pad. "The drone's AI says it detected a rare mineral vein. It rerouted on its own." Carter leaned closer. The drone's drill glowed orange. Beneath the dust something shimmered, metal or stone, carved with strange symbols. Carter's stomach turned. "Shut it down, now." Halvin pressed the override. The drone stopped drilling, but it was too late. A low rumble shook the colony. A second later, the communication panel lit up. "Incoming transmission. Carter's frequency." "Put it through," Carter ordered. General Krazek's face filled the screen. His eyes burned brighter than before. "You dare desecrate our sacred ground," he growled. "It was a mistake," Carter said quickly. "The drone acted on its own. No human ordered it." "Silence," Krazek roared. "You send your machines to dig into our holy tombs. That is not a mistake. That is war." The screen went black. For a moment no one moved. Then the lights flickered again. Outside, the colony's defense systems activated. Automated turrets rose from the ground. Shields began charging. Carter turned to Halvin. "Get me every satellite feed. I want to know where their ships are." Halvin nodded, pale. "Already done. Their fleet." He paused, staring at the screen. "They're already here." Above the colony, dark shapes appeared in the sky. Zarn warships, sharp and fast, moving like predators. There were at least 20. Carter clenched his jaw. "We need to talk to him again." "Do you think he'll listen?" "I don't know," Carter said. "But if he doesn't, people will die." He stepped out of the command center. The wind had picked up again. He looked up at the sky. The first Zarn ship was lowering toward the surface. The war had not started yet, but it was close. And it had all started with a single machine drilling where it shouldn't have. Carter stood outside the command center, watching the Zarn warship descend. It landed without a sound, its surface gleaming like black glass. The air around it shimmered with heat. Soldiers in dark armor exited the ship, weapons ready. They formed a perimeter around the ruins. Inside the colony, panic spread quickly. Workers gathered in small groups, whispering. Some packed their things, others stared at the sky, waiting for the worst. Carter returned to the control room. Director Haven was already pulling up maps, drone logs, and satellite feeds. "They've landed in Sector 12, Haven said. "They're guarding the site. We can't even get close now." Carter looked at the map. "Where's the drone?" "Destroyed. They blew it up the second they touched down." Carter frowned. "They're hiding something. That site isn't just sacred to them. It's important in another way." Haven nodded. "You think they were afraid the drone would find something?" "Maybe," Carter said. "Or maybe they don't want us to know what's really buried there." A soft chime interrupted them. An incoming message from Earth Command. Carter opened the file. Priority message from Earth Defense Council to Commander William Carter. Subject: Authorization of preemptive defense. You are authorized to prepare defensive strikes against Zarn forces. Await final go code. Carter closed the message. His heart felt heavy. Haven noticed. "They want us to fight. They're giving us permission, just in case." Haven exhaled. "That's not peace. That's pressure." Carter nodded. "We still have time. I'm not giving up yet." He left the command center and made his way to the southern ruins. A Zarn soldier raised a weapon as he approached, but Carter held up his hands. "I need to speak with General Krazek." The soldier said nothing but turned and entered the ship. A moment later, Krazek appeared. His armor hissed as he stepped down the ramp. "Will you come again?" Krazek said. "Still chasing peace." "I came to understand what happened," Carter said. "Why is that site so important?" Krazek's eyes narrowed. "It is a place of silence. A prison. Long ago, our kind sealed something beneath that ground. Something dangerous." Carter paused. "And now you think we've disturbed it?" "You already have." Krazek turned and walked away. That night, Carter studied the old maps of Saros 9. Steep. Beneath Sector 12, long tunnels spread out like spider webs. He found symbols, Zarn glyphs, and compared them with the carvings found on the surface. One word repeated. Power. Forbidden. And Carter sat back in his chair, mind racing. This wasn't just about territory. The Zarn weren't protecting a holy site. They were guarding a weapon, and now it might be waking up. Carter barely slept. The images from the old maps and ruins kept flashing in his mind. Symbols carved into stone, warnings buried in tunnels, and Krazek's words, "A prison." At sunrise, he returned to the colony lab. The lead researcher, Dr. Emilia Zahn, was already analyzing fragments from the drone's last scan before it was destroyed. "These aren't just ruins," she said, pointing to the screen. "The rock here is artificial, not natural at all. It's more like a vault sealed tight." "Could it be a weapon?" Carter asked. Dr. Zahn hesitated. "If it is, it's old. Older than any Zarn structure we've seen. But yes, something was put down there to stay hidden. And your drone woke it up." Carter leaned over the table. "Can you show me the last signal the drone sent?" She tapped a key. A short video played, blurry, damaged, but Carter saw it. A sharp edge, a pulsing blue light, and a sudden violent shake. It wasn't a simple drill error, Carter said. It triggered a defense system. Dr. Zahn nodded. The drone's systems were fried in seconds, like something reacted to it. Carter stood up. We need to go deeper. Later that day, Carter suited up and entered a maintenance shaft that ran close to Sector 12. It was risky. If the Zarn caught him, they'd see it as a threat. But he had to know what was under there. He climbed down metal rungs, past rusted pipes, and reached an old inspection tunnel. It was narrow and dark. His helmet light lit the path. After 30 minutes of crawling, he reached a broken section of wall. Beyond it was stone, cold, smooth, and covered in carvings. He wiped the dust and saw the same symbols: power, forbidden, and a soft hum came from behind the wall. It wasn't loud, but it felt alive, like a deep vibration in the bones. He turned on his comms. Dr. Zahn, I'm at the edge of the vault. There's energy coming from inside. It's active. What kind of energy? She asked. Unknown, but it's not natural. Carter took a deep breath. He didn't go farther. It was too dangerous. He returned to the surface and called for an emergency meeting with the Earth Defense Council. They appeared on a secure video call, their faces hard and impatient. What did you find? Asked Admiral Reese. A weapon, Carter said. Ancient, hidden under Sector 12. The Zarn weren't angry because we trespassed. They were afraid we might unleash something. Can you confirm what kind of weapon? Another voice asked. No, Carter said. But it's powerful enough that they built a vault around it and guarded it for centuries. There was silence. Then Admiral Reese spoke again. Our scans show Zarn ships preparing to launch from orbit. They're not just defending, they're planning an attack. Carter's voice was steady. Then we have two problems. 1. The Zarn want the weapon. 2. The weapon might already be waking up. Reese nodded. You have 48 hours. Find a way to stop the war, or prepare to fight one. The call ended. Carter looked out at the southern sky. The Zarn ships hovered above the ruins, silent and waiting. The countdown had begun. The next day, Carter made a bold decision. I'm going into Zarn space, he told Director Haven and Dr. Zahn. I'll speak to Krazek face to face. No screens, no translators. Haven stared at him. Are you insane? They just deployed more ships. You walk into their hands, you may not walk out. Carter looked calm. That's a risk I'll take. If we fire first, this becomes a war. But if we talk, really talk, we might still stop it. He left the colony in a small scout ship, unarmed and running silent. As he passed the edge of Xeris 9's upper orbit, Zarn ships tracked him. He kept his course steady. Soon a sharp voice came through his comms. This is the Zarn warship Varkul. State your purpose. Carter answered clearly. I request a meeting with General Krazek, alone. There was a long silence. Then docking bay open. Enter slowly. Carter followed their signal. His small ship was pulled into the belly of the massive vessel. Inside, armored guards surrounded him as soon as the ramp dropped. They didn't speak. They simply marched him down a long corridor, made of dark stone and metal. At the end, Krazek waited. The warlord stood tall, his armor heavier than before, glowing with red lights. His eyes burned brighter. You came alone, Krazek said. Brave, or foolish? I came to stop a war, Carter said. There's no victory in what's coming, only death. Krazek stepped closer. You desecrated our vault. You touched what should remain buried. Do you think words can erase that? I didn't come to erase anything, Carter said. I came to offer a solution. Let us seal the vault, together. You keep your honor, we keep our people alive. Krazek's face twisted into a grim smile. No, you misunderstand. I do not want the vault sealed. Carter froze. What? I want it opened. Krazek's voice was calm now, almost proud. That power belongs to the Zarn. It was locked away by cowards long ago. But now we will claim it. And nothing will stand in our way. You're planning to use it? Carter asked, stunned. Of course. With it we end Earth's control of the colonies. We take back what was stolen. Carter took a slow breath. If you use that weapon, it won't just destroy Earth. It will destroy everything. Krazek's eyes narrowed. Then let everything burn. He snapped his fingers. Guards grabbed Carter and dragged him down another corridor. They locked him in a cold metal cell. The door slammed shut. Carter was alone. For a moment he sat in the dark, breathing hard. Then a quiet sound caught his ear. A small panel slid open in the wall. A young Zarn stood behind it, taller than a human, but younger than the others. His eyes were not angry. They were curious. "My name is Lirak," he whispered. "I heard what you said." Carter stepped closer. "Then help me. If that weapon wakes up, it will destroy both our worlds." Lirak nodded slowly. "I don't want war. My father does." Carter's eyes widened. "Krazek is your father." Lirak didn't answer. He just held out a small silver key. "This unlocks your cell. You'll need to move fast." "Why are you helping me?" Carter asked. Lirak's voice was quiet. "Because I believe peace is stronger than fear." He vanished down the hall. Carter used the key, opened the cell, and ran. He found a small service hatch, crawled through tight maintenance tunnels, and reached the hangar. His scout ship was still there. Within minutes, he was back in space, racing toward Zero's 9. His mission had failed, but now he knew the truth. Krazek didn't want peace. He wanted power, and the ancient weapon was nearly in his grasp. Carter's ship shot through space like a silent arrow, cutting through the cold, dark sky back toward Zero's 9. Inside, he gripped the controls tightly. His heart pounded. He had escaped with his life, but time was almost gone. Krazek would come soon, and when he did, he'd come to claim the weapon beneath the planet. As the colony grew larger in the window, Carter opened a secure channel. "This is Commander Carter," he said. "I'm back. I have critical intel. Krazek plans to use the vault weapon. We need to lock it down, now." Director Haven's voice answered, tense. "We've picked up power spikes underground. Something's active. Dr. Zahn says the weapon might already be waking up." Carter landed and sprinted straight to the lab. Dr. Zahn was surrounded by screens and readings. "I'm glad you're not dead," she said without looking up. "But things are getting worse." "Show me," Carter said. She pointed to a display. "Energy levels in the vault are climbing fast. Something down there is powering up. And these symbols look." The glyphs translated on screen. "Core breach. Containment critical. Final cycle begun." "Final cycle?" Carter asked. "It means activation. We're minutes away from the vault opening itself." Carter thought quickly. "What if we use the colony's AI systems to seal it off? We redirect every defense protocol into lockdown mode, reroute power from the mining grid to the vault entrance." Dr. Zahn frowned. "That could work, but it's risky. If we fail, the weapon might go off anyway. It's a risk we have to take." In the command center, Carter and Haven worked fast. Screens blinked red, power lines were rerouted, and auto turrets rotated toward the ruins. The colony's AI, a calm voice called Aura, spoke. "Command override accepted. Vault containment initiated." A large camera feed showed Sector 12. The ground shook as metal barriers rose around the ancient site. Heavy shields lowered into place. The colony's energy grid flickered under the strain. But the hum coming from beneath the ground grew louder. Then the voice of Aura returned. "Warning, vault pressure rising. Sealing sequence incomplete." Carter slammed his fist on the console. "Come on, hold together." Just as energy levels reached peak danger, a final shield locked into place. The ground stopped shaking. The hum faded. Aura spoke again. "Vault sealed. Containment restored." The command center went silent. No one moved. Then Haven let out a breath he had been holding. "We did it," he said softly. But before Carter could answer, the alarm blared again. A satellite feed appeared on screen. Sarn ships dropping into the sky, bigger this time, and armed. "They're here," Haven said. Krazek didn't wait for the vault. He came to conquer anyway. Carter stared at the screen. "Then we tell him the truth," He walked outside and stood beneath the open sky as the Zarn flagship hovered overhead. A beam of light brought Krazek down to the ground. His eyes were sharp with anger. "You sealed it," Krazek growled. "You had no right." Carter stood tall. "That weapon would have destroyed everything. We stopped it for your people and mine." Krazek stepped forward. "You stole power that belongs to the Zarn." "No," Carter said. "We saved you from it." He held out a device. It played a short recording, taken from inside the vault. The voice was ancient, cracked by time. "This power ends all, even its wielder. Do not awaken what was buried." Krazek's expression changed. Just for a moment, doubt flickered in his eyes. He turned and looked at the sealed vault. Then, without a word, he signaled his ship. The beam lifted him away. The war had not begun, but it hadn't ended either. Carter watched the sky darken with retreating ships. This time they had won, but peace had never felt so fragile. The sky above Zeros 9 was quiet again. The Zarn ships had vanished into the stars, leaving behind only dust and tension. No battle, no bombs, no deaths. But Carter didn't feel peace. Not yet. He stood at the edge of Sector 12, staring at the sealed vault. The metal shields still hummed softly, holding back the unknown power buried below. The warning from the past echoed in his mind. This power ends all, even its wielder. Dr. Zahn joined him, holding a tablet. "The energy readings are dropping. Whatever was waking up, it's going back to sleep." Carter nodded. "Let's hope it stays that way." They walked back to the colony. Workers were returning to their duties. The sirens were silent. The defense systems powered down. Inside the command center, Director Haven gave a tired smile. "Earth Command just sent a message. They're calling it a diplomatic success." Carter raised an eyebrow. "A sealed weapon, a near war, and a retreating alien army. That's success." Haven shrugged. "You stopped a war. That's more than most can say." Carter sat down, feeling the weight of it all. "It's not over." Krazek didn't leave because he believed in peace. He left because he was afraid. That's not the same. Dr. Zahn looked at him. "What now?" "We monitor the vault," Carter said. "We share what we learned with the Zarn, if they'll listen. We keep talking, even if they don't talk back." He paused, then added, "And we make sure no one goes near that place again." Outside the dome, the wind blew across the cracked ground. The ruins stood silent once more. The ancient vault, sealed tight, gave no sign of what was inside. But everyone on Zeros 9 knew what had nearly happened. War had come close, too close. Carter walked through the colony one last time. Workers nodded to him now, not with fear, but with respect. He didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He just kept walking, knowing peace was a choice they'd have to make again tomorrow. And the day after that. He looked up at the stars, where the Zarn ships had vanished. They'd be back. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not next year. But someday. And when they came, he'd be ready to try peace again, even if it failed.